The thing that no amount of dry hair shampoo or combing can fix is a bad hair day. And that is what I have. But follicle hairs aside, I've got a very interesting topic. And that topic is writing. Just for the sake of writing. This is Kat the Crow-Winged Author here at the Magic Library, and today we're going to be discussing my sort of hot take and yet sort of not about writing what you want to write instead of what others expect you to do. Seraphim, it's on his way. I am almost done with the third draft of Seraphim Awakening. I'm working on that one first. I'm rewriting it and then typing it out, and it's going to be very interesting. I hope to get it out sometime in December. But to sort of tell you what I'm doing and everything, it is a sequel, and it's the beginning of a sequel trilogy to my debut novel, Arborea Lux. Which, if you've not read it yet, you can actually go and get a copy from any online store, any online book retail store, or you can go down to the description below and click on the Amazon link and buy it from there. But the Seraphim trilogy takes place generations after the events of Arborea Lux. It takes place sort of in the same scenario as well. You get a lot of shout outs to a lot of legacy characters, and there's a lot of Easter eggs and everything, but there's a little bit of a mystery, and whether or not you see the mystery at the beginning or you follow along with it throughout the trilogy, it's going to be quite a ride, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I will let you guys know when I have those beta read chapters up and ready. I will be putting them up on my Wattpad, but it will not stay on Wattpad for long. As soon as it is published, I will be taking it off of Wattpad. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and get a sneak peek of what the story is somewhat going to look like, go to my Wattpad, go to Kathleen Lyons, and just follow me for updates. But shameless plug out of the way, let's talk about writing. And I'm talking about writing for the sake of writing, not writing what everybody expects you to. Back in high school, when I sort of started thinking very seriously about writing a story and everything, and that I wish someone would have told me that you don't have to write what others expect of you. Because at the time I was pretty heavy in the church, and I sort of let that dictate what I was writing, and that was not good. Specifically because I come from a combination of sort of conservative / liberal. And I was sort of caught there in the middle of that transition from conservative to liberal, but it was not a good experience or environment for me to really write in, and I think that is why that's why when I got away from the church and everything, and I sort of struck out on my own, I was able to find that freedom for myself. Dad, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but it's true. I just do not feel comfortable at church. I just don't. And a little bit of a side tangent here, even though I don't usually talk politics or religion, I find spirituality within places I feel comfortable, not places that are sort of big and intimidating, like a church building. I find my spirituality taking a walk around around my property, or my parents' property, walking to and from the mailbox, a drive a drive that I've taken so often that my mind tends to wander, that's where I find my spirituality. I think that sort of says something about writing as well, is that writing should not be forced. You shouldn't force yourself to write a genre or a topic if you don't feel somewhat connected to it. That's a very odd segue to make, but hear me out. We're told from a sort of early age to follow your dreams, but within reason. It's not until we get a little bit older that we discover that most of that advice is, well, they don't really expect you to do anything with it. Everybody gets the participation trophy. That's it. Which on one hand, it's good to tell someone to follow their dreams, but within reason, and they get that participation trophy. But at the same time, it's more realistic to try to think of what barriers you can break through and everything. It's basically when you get out into the world and everything after high school and after college, you sort of have to fend for yourself, and there is no participation trophy for life and everything. I know that's sort of hard to say, but it is technically true. How that is relatable to writing is actually very simple. In the writing industry, when you look at what other authors tell you, like their basic advice for new writers and everything, is to write what you know, but also write what is popular. And there's sort of a gray area in that. In that gray area is that by the time you get done writing this story that's sort of in the style of what's popular now, like vampires, werewolves, sort of a Twilight romance and everything. Let's just say that it sort of seems a little obsolete. And so there's that. My advice, and the advice of some others like Jenna Marassi, is to write what you love. And the reason I say that is that writing what you love means that you'll be more motivated to finish a project. And that's what you want. You want to finish the project. You want to share the story with everybody. And I've got no idea what is in my throat. I don't know if I am just, I don't know if my body is trying to protest or what, but let's get back into it. I think what I was getting at was that writing what you love, or writing what you love and writing what you want to read is what's going to make you a writer that stands out. Primarily because, true, it may be a similar story to this story, or it may be a genre that's the same as this story, but your take on it is what's important. And I wish someone would have told me that when I started writing and everything. Specifically because it is, it's sort of difficult to sort of build yourself up when you're in high school and you're wanting to achieve that dream. Now, true, I was actually more focused on art than I was in writing when I was in high school. I sort of combined the two. I was, and still am, a huge anime fan, and I sort of got my writing start not only with my own story, but I also was writing fan fiction because I'm such a big anime nerd. I wrote lots of fan fiction. And I'll probably do another video about that, talking about how fan fiction is sort of like, I think I have actually talked about how fan fiction is sort of like a gateway into writing your own stories and everything, sort of like a training thing you can do, but I'll talk about that later. But those experiences that I had, I can put forward in my writing, because I learned a lot as a writer and as a creative during those experiences. And then when I was in college and I was still writing fan fiction because it was sort of a coping mechanism for me for being, sort of alone until I met my friends and the guy who had first become my friend and then my boyfriend. Let's just say it was very, very difficult, and I found a lot of solace in writing and everything, even if it was fan fiction. Now that I'm back in my hometown and everything, and I've already published this first book, it's only really helped with wanting to strengthen the dream. The spark has been kindled, and I'm wanting to turn it into a raging inferno of writing. And it has been a journey so far. And Mom and I were actually talking about it last night, and it's going to be an incredible journey because I'm hoping to get Seraphim Awakening done at least at the earliest in December, if not in January. And I'm hoping to get Seraphim Bloodlines probably done in January or February. The reason I say that is because I wrote all 3 of the books at the same time in one big cohesive storyline, so that I could just work on the story in a linear fashion, not going to and from. And that's how my brain works and everything. When it's a storyline, it has to sort of go through all the way. I cannot stop it. I cannot stop a book right there in the middle of the action, and it just be that, and just be the end of the book. I have to have the entire storyline written out so that I can actually just head on into it. But it is going to be very, very interesting to see how you guys like Seraphim. It's going to take place in a more modern setting, which I don't typically like doing because I don't like describing modern buildings or describing vehicles, because it's like, how are you supposed to describe a Porsche and it be sort of mystical and everything? Or even that, how are you supposed to describe a Ducati motorcycle that's black and that has purple lights underneath it that make the road glow? Okay, yeah, I described it for you there, but it's like, I don't understand mechanical details. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me, and I like, oh, a lot of people will be like that, but it's the same thing with my drawing and everything. I don't like drawing skyscrapers. I don't like drawing cars. I hardly like drawing people anymore. I don't like drawing or writing about something modern. For me, it has to have some sort of antiquated feel to it, and it's got to feel sort of nostalgic in a way, but it's got to be sort of otherworldly. Which is why my publishing company, the logo that I have for it, underneath it says otherworldly fantasy fiction. And because that's technically what it is. All of my stories that I write take in a version of Earth that is just touched by magic, and it's or in the future, it actually may be touched by science fiction. I've got 2 science fiction stories that I've got the notes down for. I've got one that is horror. So it's going to be interesting to see where those play out and everything. But back to the topic at hand. one piece of advice to all of my writers out there, whether you are someone that I know or someone who is just now finding my channel, write what you love and write what you want to read, because those are the projects that will be sought to fruition, and they will be finished and you will be more invested in finishing that project. And I will probably be continuing this sort of line of reasoning within future videos as well, specifically because I think it is a very important piece of advice, and I think that technically anyone can be a writer if they find something that they're passionate about. And being a writer is actually somewhat easy to train yourself for, especially if you are already like the kind who writes fan fiction and everything. You sort of understand how prose work, you understand how a narrative works and everything, and that's what's important, is that you know that, and that even doing fan fiction can strengthen your skills as a writer. Looking back from my first fan fiction all the way to the sort of fan fiction side projects and the projects and my writing projects I do now, I've grown as a writer. I've grown to be a lot more attentive to detail so that the story is immersive. And I think that is what stories are missing, is that sort of personal touch that makes them immersive for the writer and also for the reader. So yeah, that's sort of my hot take, but sort of not on writing. And that is it for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys feel inspired, and if you have any other questions about writing or anything, or you have questions about my personal journey, please put them down in the comments below, or you can go to any of my social links in the description, and also join the Discord, and you can ask me there on Discord, on Facebook, on x.com, on Instagram, or on TikTok. I am probably going to be doing a TikTok video later today. Maybe, I'm not sure. I am sort of hungry right now. I may actually go make myself something to eat. But if you have your questions, please, please, please get in contact with me. I would love to hear from viewers who have watched my videos and who are interested in writing, and I want them to be able to share their passion, and that is sort of my dream for all of you. Besides commenting your questions, I would like for you to subscribe and like if you did enjoy this video, and ring that bell for more notifications if you want more updates about my writing journey and the other videos that I come out with and everything. I also have a second channel called the Otaku Section, where I basically geek out over anime, but at the same time I also look at anime through the lens of a storyteller to see what that storyline sort of means to me as a writer and as someone who is an avid reader. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to support me, besides liking, subscribing, ringing that bell for more notifications, and sharing all my videos, I would like for you to go down to my description and click on my Ko-Fi link. I have a Ko-Fi account. It is a site that allows you to sort of give tips for work. It's not subscription based or anything, but I do have a goal to sort of get this first book published and everything. I'm also going to be starting a Kickstarter campaign soon for Lions Publishing, so that I can get all 3 of these books done, and also get through some of my other stuff, because I will also have to do, have some other stuff that I want to do. I want to be able to go and sell my books at conventions. I want to be able to go to the Southern Christian Writers Conference. That's going to be happening next year. I don't know when or where yet. I was just recently told about it by a friend of mine, Hunter Johnson, who is a fellow writer. I've also got to finish his book so that I can do a book talk video about it and everything, but more details about that will be in posts on here, but they will also be posts on my social media, my Facebook, my X.com. I don't like calling it X.com. Just call it Twitter. Just call it Twitter. Elon Musk, what are you doing? But anyway, you'll be getting those updates via my Facebook, via my Twitter account, and via Instagram, and stuff like that. Like I said at the beginning of this video, Arborea Lux is available, and you can buy it from any online book retail store, or you can go down to my Amazon link in the description below to buy it for yourself. Arborea Lux is the culmination of a life's dream for me, and it is a story that I very much believe in. That's why I'm doing Seraphim Awakening, Seraphim Bloodlines, and Seraphim Requiem. I'm focusing so much on this particular storyline specifically because this is what my life has sort of been in. My journey as a professional writer started with Arborea Lux. It's continuing on with the Seraphim trilogy. Afterward, it's going to go to Anime Nexum, the companion novel to Arborea Lux. And it is also going to be going back all the way to the beginning to Lucy, to the Morgensterns and how they got their powers in Morningstar. And it's going to be it's going to be a treat, and I hope you guys are excited for the journey. I mentioned my friends earlier, and my friends and I have a lovely Discord server called the Magic Library. The link is also down in the description below. And I hope you guys will go and join the group and come to us with writing questions, come to us asking for critique and everything. It's just and our critique will be sort of blunt and sort of easy. It depends on who you talk to. I know a few people probably, I know a few people who will probably be harsh, and a few more people who will probably be a little bit more easygoing, but still give you that right push in the right direction. And if you also want to support the Aster Blood Chronicles, as I'm calling this little universe of mine, I would like for you to go down to the description below and go to my Printify store for the Magic Library. I have designs already set up. I have designs for Lux. I have designs for Silas. I have a beautiful sticker design for Cassius and for Luxia, for them together. And I've just got all these goodies that I want to share with everybody. And I also have some stuff. I also have one bit that is specifically from the Michigan Migration Crow on the Road series, and that is the word yup. And I did that specifically for Mom and everything, because my mom is one of my best friends, and she sort of proclaims herself to be my biggest fan and everything. So yeah. All those descriptions will be down in the description. All of those links will be in the description box below. And of course, my social links for my author page on Facebook, for my Twitter, for Instagram, and for TikTok are all down in the description below. So please go and follow me on there, and keep up with my little bits and pieces and everything. I've got to get more of a social media presence, because I've been so big. I just realized that last week I literally did mostly writing instead of working on some of the other stuff for my company. So there's that. But that's going to be intrusive thoughts for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys will continue to stick around to follow my journey, but also find the courage to start yours. Undertaker says to start your writing journey now. Yes, my little mysterious bunny plush right here, that's obviously a scorpion, that's obviously a Scorpio under the bow tie. I named him Undertaker after one of my favorite characters in Black Butler. Again, something for another time. Anyway, I hope you guys have a very wonderful day, and I hope you guys will take up a pen and write. As I always sign my books, and as I always say to those who are wanting to become writers and everything is that beyond the cover of a book lies an adventure, and it lies a world that's wanting you to immerse yourself in it, to follow along the journey of the characters and to experience what they experience. That is the very essence of immersive writing here at the Magic Library. And speaking of the Magic Library, this is Kat the Crow-Winged Author, and I hope you guys find your courage to write. Bye guys.